Entitle.
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 Entitle. Entitle.
She ain't a good fit, Casey. She's cocky.
And entitled.
It's important that you never jeopardize the esteem to which that claim entitles you.
You see, as a licensed PI, I'm legally entitled to investigate this case on behalf of my client.
Sorry, I'm being a bitch.
No, you're entitled.
Just because they're vested doesn't entitle them to special treatment.
The Queen family is only entitled to one miracle, I'm afraid.
You think that sleeping with my father entitles you to my family's company?
And we have calculated what you are collectively entitled to in back pay. $148,673.
I'm not saying you don't go the extra mile, but it doesn't entitle you to be disrespectful.
But I know the governor gave you a free pass, okay? But immunity and means does not entitle you to hang a guy off a roof.
You know, it's just like pistachios. You have one and then you want another one right away.
Right, well, you're entitled to your opinion. Listen, we just wanted to take some of your fuel there.
Who's we?
I get that you don't want to do me any favors. You're entitled to that anger.
Basis.
Basis.
Basis. Basis.
Basis.
And if we made a list of books or works of art which we both know, it would form the ideal basis of a discussion. Basis of a discussion. Basis of a discussion.
What's going on here?
Come on, not only do I get it, I'm getting the better of it. I am beating a game that kicks my ass on a regular basis. Basis.
Guess what? 3Pete and I projected the Wallace Cooper Fund would beat the S&P by 325 basis points, and it did exactly.
I dare say, you earned your rank on the basis of achievement, Dragonetti. I did.
Some pressure. I'm sorry, ma'am. There's no legal basis for us to remove your husband from the house.
We'll fight you, right?
Do you really want to risk that case law will be established on the basis of these extraordinary circumstances?
I thought Rick was the only writer on your team.
Rick? You guys on a first-name basis now?
Well,
And that you saw attack Eva.
And here's another fun fact. Cole visited that house on a regular basis between 6 and 8 p.m.
You know, it's one of the downsides of being demoted. I don't get to witness his sunny disposition on a daily basis.
It's Rosalind.
First name basis, huh? I'll leave you to it.
And been rejected.
On what basis would they reject him?
You and you are the newest members of it. You have been selected for it on the basis of intelligence and aptitude.
Auxiliary.
Auxiliary. Auxiliary. Auxiliary. Auxiliary.
It's against the rules, Jonas.
Since when do you care about the rules?
Actually, I have auxiliary training.
Terrific. Houston, from first inspection, comms panel appears to be dead. Am I go to cut link to auxiliary? Auxiliary?
That was close. Did you check the auxiliary control?
They're adapting. This isn't a defense mechanism, it's a weapon.
Give me striker.
Nothing, sir. The Mark I's digital is fried. It'll take me 2 hours to reroute the auxiliary.
Where was the breach?
The auxiliary ballast tank system on the starboard side.
I mean, that must be so hard for you. You're the head of the women's auxiliary. What should I do?
Fuses in. Open valves 3, 4, and 5. Shut valve to auxiliary engines in emergency air.
Figured you could use this. Fresh from the island.
Thank you, sir. I got the auxiliary power up. At least we can keep the doctor's work on ice while they make the repairs.
But your friend keeps me company.
We were just speaking of your bravery in the victory against the Stark auxiliary forces.
A lemma on its own is difficult to solve because the solution changes depending upon whether or not the subsequent proposition is auxiliary or subsidiary.
Supervision.
Supervision. Supervision. Supervision.
Supervision.
That's correct. Minimal supervision. Supervision. Supervision.
So you understand how this works?
And being released into the custody of the FBI under your supervision. Supervision.
She is ready to move on to the next phase of rehabilitation with ongoing supervision.
I know I'd feel a lot more comfortable if I knew she was receiving that level of supervision.
Barker! Artie, get him.
Barker is left without adult supervision.
Right. Right. The judge offered mandatory supervision. That's better than the alternative.
Out of the condo.
You know what House is like. He's self-destructive. Without constant supervision, he's gonna slide back into drugs.
Assuming quality education, adequate supervision, parents are actually rather irrelevant beyond a certain age.
On a camping trip.
Evan, I don't know if I feel comfortable you going camping without supervision.
Jordan's uncle's gonna be there.
Until further notice, you are to remain here and continue your training under my direct supervision. Understood?
Yes, Blue.
Gallagher. 6 kids living in squalor. No parental supervision. When the father is there, he's drunk.
1, the fact that you had a foster child in your home that ran away under your supervision.
Recovery.
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 His recovery time is insane.
I had a ringside seat to my mom's recovery attempts. I know all about accepting the things I can't change.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see how your recovery was going.
Really?
Not moved, not smaller. Gone. He's going to make a full recovery.
Simmons has been working around the clock on these. She assures me they'll cut your recovery time in half.
Go to the recovery room. Have one of ours take a look at you.
It wasn't something we could prevent, but you will make a full recovery.
Dawkins is driving a 2010 silver Chevy Malibu. Car's got a vehicle recovery system. Can you track it?
Hey, can we see him?
Not right now. The doctor said once he's stable, they're going to move him to a recovery ward where he can have some visitors.
Wait a minute, you're an insurance agent?
Recovery specialist. And if you don't mind, I'd like to see Jansen right now.
You didn't even ask me about my recovery.
It's a recovery now.
Contentious.
Nice recovery.
All right, well, I'll let you know as soon as he's in recovery.
Thank you.
Big book. Alcoholics Anonymous. Sarah's in recovery. Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Estimate.
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 Well done, kid.
What was the estimate?
Half a mil plus.
Fragments into a fountain of shrapnel. I estimate one bombard could take out a dozen of your men and their mounts.
Whole stations may have been lost. I estimate. No more than 1,000 survivors.
No, it's fine. I'm sitting in front of it. If you tell me your thoughts, I will give you a rough estimate.
So that, together with this device, has enabled me to estimate the length of our voyage. See, Mr. Milverton is a professional blackmailer. I'd estimate that his victims number in the dozens.
He was probably disinfecting himself before he left the lab.
So once he was there, how long do you estimate it would take him to assess the spore's progress?
I'd say no more than 10 minutes.
Pay me what she's worth. And what exactly do you estimate that to be?
Hey, does he wipe for you too? Now, by my rough estimate, you have not had sex in 1,839 days.
We're keeping the American Armada on the move, sir.
If the sub has joined the hunt, I estimate they're here, heading right for our ambush.
Way worse.
Meaning what?
If less time than I thought, then I can even estimate.
Is it some guy named Mason? Gotta do an estimate and some garage repairs for him.
You said 2 years.
Yeah, I think 2 years is a realistic estimate.
If it passes at all.
Which I think it will.
You think or you know?
Threat.
Threat. Threat.
Threat.
Threat.
The lockdown makes me weak.
Look, I'm not a threat to you. Look, I'm not a threat to you. Look, I'm not a threat to you. Oh, your boy. I need to be on your property. I'd rather there's no contact at all. I'm gonna stay in the fields.
My lord, I believe riding is no longer a threat to you. No longer a threat to you. No longer a threat to you.
Why?
Until I'm confident you're no longer a threat to others. No longer a threat to others. No longer a threat to others.
Well, of course he does. And the FBI, they're taking a threat in Cincinnati pretty seriously.
On the move, make no mistake. What is happening in Spain it's a threat to our democracy as well.
Silvay. Rosenbach said the bulk of the identifiable sources are the threat assessments. It's 14,000 documents. But if you hold those...
Investigation overlook anyone. Search even those that you suspect the least, for the threat may reside anywhere.
We haven't been able to negotiate with the Grounders because we haven't had anything to offer them. The biggest threat they face is from the Reapers.
She posed no threat to anyone other than her father.
Titus Delancey might disagree.
How's the new gig? It's nice people. Big job, but the threat briefings we get, I used to sleep better.
I don't get paid enough to have arrows shot at me. You need to take this guy seriously. He's a bigger threat to your operation than Nocenti ever was.
I just think he poses a greater threat to all of us. But you're surrounded by people who constantly underestimate the threat they're up against.
Discard.
Discard. Discard. Discard.
Discard.
Come and cut and discard that shit off of your infant immediately. It's...
You see if you can. I discard the razor blade. Discard the razor blade. Discard the razor blade. We are...
And after they hurt you, they discard you. They discard you. They discard you.
You didn't hurt me. Or discard me like you said you would.
In a world of abandoned items and discarded materials, Violet knew there was always something.
1. And every 10 seconds, the least chosen image will be discarded until there is only one left.
The van stolen from work. Discarded tags, auto paint.
It should take you less than 3 seconds to discard any thought of rebellion and comply.
Their bodies were discarded in isolated areas.
This is our guy.
That makes no logical sense.
Well, human logic is to be discarded when at war with extraterrestrial beings.
Casualty.
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 We'll just let people believe we're another Hollywood casualty.
If you continue seeing Rosie, trust me, you'll be the casualty, casualty, casualty.
Hey, halt! Or shoot me. I'm so goddamn itchy. I swear I'd just rather be a casualty. Casualty. Casualty.
And I'm proud to say the 456, the whole time we were there, we never lost a guy. Not one casualty. Not one casualty. Not one casualty.
Finished doing business, huh?
Look, man, that's a casualty of war. You know how Mr. Alexander does business.
Medical casualty, C53, 2 men down.
You're still on the ship.
Yeah, I'm Nestor Pollock, Midwestern Life and Casualty.
I'm already covered.
Walls haven't been breached in well over a month. We haven't suffered a casualty on the inside since early winter.
What you're left with, casualty-wise, is just the 50th worst air disaster.
The casualty count would have been much higher if not for an airborne inoculant that rumors credit Palmer Technologies with developing.
Wet.
Did you try to rig casualty power cables from main 1?
There's no way to do it. The main cable riser's melted.
I'll start a war if I have to.
You know as well as I do who the first casualty of that war would be.
Much as we do, I suppose.
Was the screen a Cromwell casualty?
Listening in on your phone call, and
you don't gotta worry about that. That phone call was a house casualty.
A house casualty?
Yeah.
What is a house casualty?
It means that it happened in your house, so it's, everything's fair game.
He's just the latest casualty in a war that's already claimed more than we can count.
Revise.
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 Even half of what Mom needed. Don't try to revise death. To revise death. To revise death. What did you want me to do? I wanted you to fight.
What do you want?
Slow, painful death by disease.
What?
I'd like to revise my earlier answer. Revise my earlier answer. Revise my earlier answer.
I need to revise my statement. Revise my statement. Revise my statement.
So, if you don't mind, you two can revise this while I handle a pretrial motion.
Okay, I'll revise the injunction.
Get a second?
No.
Got the revised billing statement on the Bishop case.
Then perhaps you better revise your definition. You can't expect Sherlock Holmes to relate to you the way others might.
Would you care to revise your answers? Because it would appear that Nelson Maddox has some connection to this gallery after all.
It's a gimlet. You'll love it. What exactly is your plan here to get me all liquored up so I buy the revised pitch?
Only if we fix the Wolfson report. They revised the column after I told them they had a leak.
Wish me luck.
No need. You worked hard. I just want you to have fun.
Thanks, Dad.
Also, I'd like to revise what I said to you in the car about biting.
Evil. 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 Evil.
Evil.
The kitty smell like pure evil. Evil. Evil.
Well, there is evil, Lena.
Yes, there are evil casters, Ethan. What? I mean, what are you trying to say, that there are no evil mortals?
It is on, okay? Downstairs versus upstairs. Good versus evil. Good versus evil. Good versus evil. Me versus you.
Stone cold killer, Oliver.
She's not evil. She's been lost since her father killed her fiancé in cold blood.
Him after what he did.
He's not evil. He kept me safe on that ship for over a year. And then Gloria pops up as the evil village bruja, and she says, "Welcome to your nightmare." And then...
So sweet.
Come here. It's not sweet. I'm an evil cyborg. Half my face was burned off in an industrial accident. You opened it, and you're evil.
I had to get out of there, Claire.
A man is good or he is evil.
Which are you?
Oh, good.
But there were other things that lived in the woods. Evil things. Like what?
Evil notions come free.
Oh, I don't know. She's pure evil. We're gonna find this girl and send her butt into the pipeline.
Delicate.
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 Delicate equipment. Delicate equipment.
When you called, you said you had some questions.
But they're delicate. 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 That's why I wanted to come in person.
Delicate how?
Oh, be careful. It's delicate. Delicate. Delicate.
It's delicate. I think you should get it remixed.
I know it's a delicate subject.
Lie to me again. I want to feel your body sliding through my delicate hands.
Well, you can't. It's very delicate equipment. So just stay away.
These are delicate times. Decisions are being made.
That would be an incredibly delicate shot.
But this is a very delicate moment in the campaign.
It's a delicate matter, but we are in communication with the Chinese government as to how to move forward.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Stay in touch.
I will. Thanks.
Who's that?
Just an acquaintance. Just an acquaintance. Just an acquaintance.
Sheriff Robert Brogdon. Nice to make your acquaintance. Nice to make your acquaintance. Nice to make your acquaintance.
I go to school with Lena. I'm Ethan White. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
My name is
Nassim Vaziri.
I know who you are.
Then you know we have a mutual acquaintance. Oh, we did.
Are you Johnny's girlfriend?
No, we are friends. Just friendly acquaintances. Portia Nathan.
Of course.
The art world is a small world, and one of Eloise's acquaintances is clocking us right now.
Phineas T. Kettle 3 Esquire, at your service. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Oh, foo! He's Bubble, I'm Clank.
You haven't signed the exit contract.
No, not yet. Why?
I called an old acquaintance in probate court about Mr. Ashbow's estate. A contending will has been discovered.
How'd he get on yours?
An acquaintance of mine left Margot's diner this morning and has not been seen since.
Diana Jones. There's another lead I need you to find.
Alex Hunter. She's an old acquaintance of Neil's.
Hello, Aries. It's a 3 out of 10 day. The Moon-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Aries will allow you to see an old acquaintance in a new light.
Okay, Penny, if it were a game, here are your choices. An email from an old acquaintance or the head of one of the largest religious institutions in the world slam dunking to Sweet Georgia Brown. Pick.
Element.
Element.
Element. Element.
Element.
You?
He brought the entire thing in, every element, every element, every element. I mean, look at it, it's the friggin' Sistine Chapel. I know the guy was an engineer or whatever, but man.
There's a lot of stuff in there, but it mostly focuses on transmutation, which is the process of altering the structure of an element by unzipping the atoms.
And rebuilding it to create an entirely new element.
I'm gonna hold on to this, in case you two run into some unsavory element.
Tiles, they're made of tungsten. Well, tungsten does have the highest melting point of any other element.
See, look, you can actually see it vibrate.
Of course, no, because there's more than one element.
And at last, he was in his element.
So much for the element of surprise.
With those elements, I can't think of a version that ends well.
Element of surprise is key. See, I can be circumspect. Folks would be lost without me.
Especially once a rogue element in China's own military claims responsibility.
A little out of my element.
Look, I know you're out of your element. I'm fine.
But we still have the element of surprise on our side.
Appointment.
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 It's almost noon. Shouldn't you be at work?
Oh, I'm going in late today. Have a doctor's appointment. Have a doctor's appointment. Have a doctor's appointment.
Can I do this tomorrow? I have an appointment this afternoon. Appointment this afternoon. Appointment this afternoon.
An appointment?
It's a woman thing.
Oh, that's cool. I got the joint. I'll text you his info. You call first. Set an appointment. Set an appointment. Set an appointment. And when you send your man over, he should say Jocka sent him. We're tight.
Would you like me to make you another appointment?
For a follow-up?
For whatever you decide.
Can I help? Oh, yeah. I have an appointment at Gable Enterprises.
They went bust. You know what? It's after hours. Why didn't you call my office? Set up an appointment.
Marie. Hello, how are you?
Good, ma'am. Very good.
I wish you'd made an appointment. I just spoke to your wife. Mr. Burke?
Mrs. Florek, hello. I'm sorry to come here without an appointment.
Oh, just a sec. I'm sorry, Mr. Burke.
Who called you about the arrest?
My accounting firm. I had an appointment and they canceled.
Please, I have an appointment with the governor and Willis here.
Has he given up on the game already?
He had another appointment. Somebody else wanted to stop by.
Who the dentist is. Okay. Please, tell the dentist that I'm making an appointment.
Advise.
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 You're thinking about taking the Dorfman case. We would advise against it. Really? What else would you advise? Advise. Mr. Gardner, you're having money issues.
Good. Well, I would advise against a censure, but now that we're on the same page, shall we break for lunch?
No, you need to lie down.
No, I don't.
I strongly
advise it. Advise it. Advise it.
Advise. Advice. What? All right. What's going on now?
We only advise on content.
Well, then you might have to throw in something extra.
We've got a court date tomorrow. Max has been more than generous with his offer. We advise you to take it.
So, you would advise me to take this?
It's the best deal we could have made.
And at what point is our job wrong?
When it fails our client.
So let's advise our client to accept the offer.
That's $1 million. This firm is bankrupt.
Then negotiate with Will. Tell him. But I'll advise him not to take it.
Why?
I've seen the evidence.
You're a businessman.
Yes. Show a businessman a winning hand.
Go to hell.
I would advise you to talk things over with your lawyer, Mr. Gold.
You have 1.3 million. Now, many advisors would suggest stocks. I tend to advise interest-bearing bonds.
My second husband always advised against bonds.
Although in the future, I would advise you to keep our dealings private.
Excuse me?
I would advise the three of you that resistance is futile. I have endless patience.
Why not? Why isn't it your role? Aren't we Jedi Knights? Isn't it our duty to speak our minds to advise the Chancellor?
Tone.
Tone. Tone.
Tone.
Tone.
Ringtone. Nice ringtone. Nice ringtone. Who gets that?
Oh, my mother-in-law, my daughter programmed it.
We have a particular tone here.
I can do tone. I have a much better tone.
I'll even round it out with old trusty. Not the flannel. Some nice muted tones. No.
Jake. What's Nintendo? Just get me to the 5-tone, Tommy.
I was wondering if you would not talk to me in that tone.
Oh. Yes, of course.
Up. Continue with that tone, and I will take my business elsewhere.
Now, what's wrong?
Nothing recently. Watch this, more precautionary than anything else.
Yet your tone is telling me it's more than just a heads up.
Then it's kind of douchey.
Hey, I really wish that you wouldn't talk about my boyfriend in that tone, okay?
Understand?
Clones.
Oh, yeah. You hear that dial tone? My clones are off the hook. Check this out.
So is this gonna be a regular thing with you?
What is with your tone?
Morning.
Now, make sure you listen to the tone of the cuckoo on this one.
I don't find your tone appropriate, Detective.
I didn't appreciate the tone of your voicemail last night.
I told you chose the wrong time.
Suspect.
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 The authorities suspect he stole something, but nothing was missing.
They suspect it was you. They suspect it was you. They suspect it was you. The way I see it, we got two choices. Stay and fight, in which case maybe we win if we can get enough workers to join us.
Coincidence? I suspect not. I suspect not. I suspect not.
What are you talking about? What do you mean they're both dead?
What he means, Miss.
It's not what you think.
But why don't you tell me what I'm supposed to think then? Because I see your picture on a wanted sign saying you're a suspect for murder.
Police have the suspect in custody, but are not releasing any information until they complete their investigation.
I merely reclaimed them.
God, if they ever find this place.
I suspect if they do find this place, a few bits of art will be the least of my worries.
But are 4 years old. The bomb that exploded this morning was 4 years old.
Why would the suspect build a bomb and sit on it for 4 years?
Suit and sword came from.
Reach out to Bellevue. They probably admitted our suspect before. He's clearly delusional or psychotic.
We're fine.
And then you sent those postcards to keep your suspect alive.
Let him think that he did it.
Nothing, I suspect. Do you even know what this island really is?
See if she meets with anyone we might be interested in.
She's not a suspect. She's my mother.
All available units. Suspect spotted at Central City train station.
We got snarled.
I suspect the meta is inducing rage via the ocular nerve. Oh, Dr. Wells wants to see you.
Poster.
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 Postered.
To be the poster girl for the sexual revolution.
It's just a goof.
Diversity hiring. I'm tired of being the poster boy for affirmative action around here.
Okay, fine. It's frustrating.
Frustrated? You look like the poster boy for bipolar disorder.
Who told you?
Look, all I'm saying is when you get to your new house, put a poster up, put some shelves on the wall, frame a photo. Look.
I've seen your bounty posters that offer much more than that lunatic can pay.
Right off the recruitment poster.
Reservist with the 316th Quartermaster Company, Pendleton.
Miss Queen, like it or not, you are now the poster child for this menace.
Where'd the poster of Marky Mark go?
I'm 18, Boone.
I hate to say it, but Jason's death has been the best recruitment poster yet.
People know now. Proportion.
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 Mr. Castle, I'm sure that this is being blown out of proportion, but I'll be candid.
But these past few days, we've had a storm of epic proportions, an infestation.
Because he realized that this creation of his pride and joy, was a failure of epic proportions.
Yeah, but you painted like pancakes. They're way out of proportion.
I thought perhaps maybe I could use just a small proportion of it.
We need to ask you to step off the study. I'm sure it's all blown out of proportion, but we can't have you on the payroll now.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. No, you were totally perfectly in proportion to your height.
This is an opportunity of magnanimous proportions to me. How's that? I'm finding my next step in the organization.
Sir, I swear to God, there was an arsenal of immense proportions in this van this morning.
Ambling nymph, I that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature.
Pretties, just end up dead. Besides, if word of this gets out, it could spark an international incident of epic proportions.
He's gonna tell Esposito. Esposito can't keep his mouth shut with Ryan, and Ryan's gonna blow it out of proportion. And then Gates is gonna find out we won't be able to work together anymore.
Goes down. Okay, but you realize that this is an accusation of monster proportions, massive proportions, right?
We need evidence. We need rock solid.
You're blowing this out of proportion.
Watch yourself.
When I worked for you in Congress, you always told me to be straight up with you.
Morality.
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 Morality. Morality.
In the glory of the unconventional, spit in the eye of morality, and feast on...
Claims is better. Proclaims the death of morality.
For Christians, the fixed point of morality, what constitutes right and wrong.
It's not a perfect world, but we can't just throw morality in the garbage.
Emotions originated in childhood. So don't sweat the morality of what you're doing, just...
He corrupted you as a boy, warping your sense of morality.
I called the esteemed Friar Torquemada as a voice of morality.
I was prepared to give James Holder a chance to right his wrongs, but this deadshot has no morality.
For turning away low-income tenants based on his so-called morality.
What use is morality when there's no piper to be paid?
And you lost all track of time. Quite apart from the morality, or lack of it in this situation.
There's a morality clause in the contract, but he's gonna pay me $45,000 for the storefront. That.
Compel.
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 Men to commit the darkest deeds. Or compel ordinary women to search for hidden truths.
Wait, you're going on television?
Yeah, but what am I going to say? Meaning, what compels me to paint these paintings?
You promised not to compel my client to give testimony which might compromise that
paint these paintings.
You promised not to compel my client to give testimony which might compromise that.
Allowed us to extend our travels.
Jay, you fool.
I say unto thee, the power of Christ compels you.
Oh, does it? Does it compel me?
The power of Christ compels you.
Now, let me get right to the point. Your lawyer has presented me with a compelling argument.
Be out in 0. We need to find a lawyer who believes that he's innocent.
The evidence against him is very compelling.
No man can compel another man to marry.
The laws of my fist are about to compel your teeth.
It's all right. You heard him.
Right. And how do you know all of this?
I stumbled across a compelling documentary about them.
Plus totally damaged personality with a self-destructive streak. A recipe for compelling.
Just in time to save Veronica Carlyle, but not quickly enough to save the house.
Compelling story, Glenn. Glad there's still some local heroes this time of year.
Glimpse.
Glimpse.
Glimpse. Glimpse.
Glimpse.
Glimpse into her future.
Okay, here we go.
Good to see you, man.
See this golden boy on your way in?
Yeah, I caught a glimpse. I caught a glimpse.
I know not how it was, but with the first glimpse of the building. Maybe I get a glimpse of something, anything important.
Fear is all I remember of my childhood. I have glimpses of my parents' death, but nothing of our life in Kenya, nor coming to London.
Moment. This glimpse of an awful sadness to come.
You'll see a glimpse of him coming down that hall.
Thank you.
Well, she likes the guy.
Might have caught a glimpse of a text message, quite unintentionally, you understand?
Oh my God.
So I know that any appearance of civility from them is but a glimpse of the men they once were.
Look like.
I barely got a glimpse.
She remembers it so well that she recognized it from a mere glimpse.
Devote.
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 Devote. Devote.
I devote my life to you. I devote my life to you. Whatever you wish, whatever you want, it is my sworn duty to deliver for you until the end of my days.
I can't devote my life to a system capable of that.
I will devote all the resources and manpower of S.H.I.E.L.D. to crushing your agency.
But for the people who devote their lives to studying the Arctic, taking risks is part of the job.
I have decided to devote the entirety of my energies to family. I have to decide which cases we're going to devote our very limited resources to.
So after that, she devoted her life to their study.
I've noticed you've devoted resources to running a background check on Philip Bartlett.
I know you know how it feels to devote your life to something, to an institution.
As long as I can devote myself wholly to the campaign, I agree.
Francis and I wanted to devote our lives to public service.
And resign so you can, quote, devote yourself to the campaign.
Portrait.
Portrait. Portrait. Portrait.
Portrait.
Down. If you love me, take it down.
My portrait. My portrait. My portrait. My portrait of you. You mad?
Had it done before the wedding. What do you think?
Of the portrait?
Yeah.
Portrait?
Yeah.
Portrait?
Yeah.
It's nice?
Yes. Of course, dear.
The invitation has come from Downing Street for the unveiling of your portrait. Portrait. Portrait.
Little girl, how would you like your portrait sketched by the world's renowned Margaret Aldrich, Queen of the Bay?
These are revelations which pierce the veil of secrecy surrounding this war, painting a more complete portrait of events we thought we understood, but we may not have known at all.
An outstanding landscape painter. But among his many splendid landscapes, he painted 3 portraits.
I was trying to emulate Degas, who lights up his portrait faces with all these wonderful colors.
Degas.
But the image made on this day will be the last official portrait ever taken of the 16th President of the United States.
Oh, I forgot to mention, sir, we got a call from Photo about a portrait sitting. You're going up on the 25 years of service wall.
And keeping every reporter from asking if the governorship has gone to Peter's head.
You won, Eli. It's not wrong to put such a beautiful portrait in a place of prominence.
When will you ever finish my portrait if we sit together so infrequently?
How about a self-portrait? You saying you want to eat me? Because I don't know how to feel about that, bro.
Freelance photographer. I do weddings and family portraits. Listen, I swear I didn't do anything.
The portrait in your room depicts you alongside Lord Thomas Hamilton.
It was the same thing with the Greedo self-portrait in Belize. I mean, I wasn't taken out of a purse. It was more like a highly secured wing of a Central American antiquities.